Expect to make more money per customer in the coming year than they did last year, and that is despite recent price cuts to gas tariffs and a dramatic fall in the price of crude oil as well. Well, we're joined now by Labour's Shadow Energy Minister, Tom Greatrex. Thank you very much for being with us. What do you make about this prediction?
Well, it's just another of the mounting evidence case to demonstrate precisely why we need to ensure that the regulator is fit for purpose in the future and is able to step in to ensure that wholesale costs, when they come down for the big companies, are passed on to consumers and businesses paying their bills, because the recent experience over recent years has demonstrated that when wholesale prices go up, everybody's bills go up very quickly. What this is demonstrating is that, again, when they come down, that doesn't follow for people's bills as quickly, if at all. And what we've seen in the last few weeks is some welcome reductions in prices in standard variable tariffs, but they're very small in terms of the percentage compared to the percentage drop in wholesale prices, at 20 to 30% in terms of gas wholesale prices over the course of the last 12 months. And also, crucially, quite a few of them don't apply until most of the winter is going to have been over for very many of those big six companies.
Of course, Labour is proposing a price freeze on energy. We wouldn't have had those reductions under a freeze, would we? Because the prices would have just been frozen. They wouldn't have gone down.
Well, no, that's not the case, because the policy is to freeze to stop prices going up, not to stop them coming down. And an important part of the policy package alongside that policy in terms of prices was also to ensure that the regulator has the power to ensure that when wholesale costs come down, they're passed on to consumers in the same way that when they go up, the companies don't seem to have any problem in passing those on to bill payers.
Are you saying we need a new regulator or a reformed regulator? What's your position on that?
Well, the regulator needs to be properly equipped to stand up for customers. One of the issues there has been with Ofgem in recent years is that hasn't been the case. Part of that is about the powers and the duties, and having the duty to ensure that they can make companies pass on wholesale costs if the companies don't do it, is an important element of that. But we also need the regulator to have the right focus. Now, our contention is that, given the lack of confidence there has been in the current regulator over recent times, that whilst a range of market changes are made to make sure that the market is fair and clear and transparent for consumers and for the companies and for everybody else, that it would make sense then to ensure we have a new regulator with the right powers to ensure that they can stand up for the customer, to ensure the customer interest is best served, and to make sure, as for one example, that when wholesale costs come down, they're passed on to customers as they should be, because we don't seem to have a problem with wholesale prices when they go up being passed on to customers. It should work the other way as well. A yo-yo goes up as well as down.
And what do you think wholesale costs are going to do in the next year or so? What's your kind of projection? Do you expect them to keep falling, or?
Well, it's hard to be able to give a definitive view on that because it depends on a range of different variables. But what's certainly been the case is this isn't a short-term blip. This is over the course of sustained period of more than 12 months that we've seen a considerable decrease in gas prices, a considerable decrease in oil prices in recent months, both of which have an impact on the wholesale prices that the companies are paying, and often they are also the people that generate the power as well. So they are making a significant margin in the generation business as well as the retail business. And it's only fair and right that when that happens, that's passed on to customers. And I think that's something which should be done over time. And if the companies don't do it, then the regulator should have the power to step in and do so. We forced 2 votes on this in the House of Commons in recent months, and the government parties, the Tories and Lib Dems, have voted against it. After the general election, one of the early things that the Labour government will do will start to put in place measures which will ensure that we will have a regulator with that ability to do that, to ensure, as I say, that when wholesale costs come down, that benefit is passed on to consumers in the same way it seems to be that when wholesale costs go up, there doesn't seem to be any delay in that being passed on to consumers and bill payers, be those householders or companies.
OK, Tom Greatrex, thank you very much indeed.
Thank
Tom Greatrex, Labour's Shadow Energy Minister.